Welcome to the London School of English Live. Today we have a very special live stream as we're quickly approaching Christmas and New Year. And our expert English language trainer, Emma Palmieri, picked 8 fun Christmas films that you can watch this season and improve your listening skills in English, expand your vocabulary, and discover interesting holiday traditions. You will also be able to ask your questions in an interactive Q&A session at the end of the live stream. So please share your questions and comments in the live chat next to the video, and we'll answer them later. So to start with, how about if you share with us what country you're joining us from today? If you're new here, this session is sponsored by the London School of English, where you can learn general, business, and exam English both in our face-to-face classes in a beautiful center in London and also online in virtual groups. And here with us today, we have my colleague Corinne Cho from our sales team, who advises clients on choosing the most suitable English language training for them. So you can ask her any questions in the Q&A session as well. And you can find out more about our school and English training on our website, www.londonschool.com. So welcome, Emma and Corinne. It's really good to have you here.
Hi, Emma.
Good to see you. And I know that we've got quite a few Christmas films to look at and discuss. So in the interest of time, Emma, over to you for the main content, and we'll join you at the Q&A session at the end of the live stream.
Okay, well, thank you, Olga. Thank you, Corinne. So this year is not really what any of us wanted. It's had lots of not very nice surprises, but finally, it's almost finished. It's almost 2021. Much better time for everybody, let's hope. And it's Christmas. Now, Christmas is like the festival of the British calendar. That's something we all look forward to. And it's a really important time that we celebrate together and concentrate on all the good things we have together. And perhaps this year it's even more important than it normally is to sort of celebrate everything good that we could possibly find in our lives together. And this year, I'm suggesting that you watch some Christmas movies, learn some more English, and maybe learn a little bit more about British and American culture and how we celebrate and do things a bit differently. Okay, let's start. The first film we're going to talk about is Elf. I don't know how many of you have seen this film before. This is a very entertaining film for all the family, particularly for those of you who are massive fans of Will Ferrell. You can see in that clip there. He's also in films like Anchorman and Blaze of Glory. But in this film, he plays a human who's been abandoned in the North Pole with the elves, with Santa up at the North Pole. And to begin with, he thinks he is an elf. But quickly he realizes he's not. I think it's quite clear. If you see, he's like much bigger than the other elves when he's at school and also when he's working. So he decides that he is going to find his real father, who is based in New York. You can see there with him, with his classmates. He's going to find his real father in New York City. Okay, so this picture of him in New York City. Now, this is classic. Somebody who's not used at all to city life, to modern life, who's been brought up in the North Pole in a sort of fantasy fairyland, obviously finds it very difficult adjusting to real life in New York. Lots of comedy chaos ensues. Does he find his father? Well, I won't tell you. But it is Christmas. It's a family film. Maybe you can guess. Anyway, it's very entertaining, as I said. There's lots of scenes where he meets Santa, New York Santa in a department store. And it is quite entertaining and quite funny. Even if maybe it's typically American, and for me, maybe it's a bit over the top with very super emotional, very like sort of exaggerated acting and a lot of visual jokes, but it's good family watching, I would say. Okay, now the next one is more British. So the other one was American. This is a much more British comedy with Martin Freeman. You might know Martin Freeman. I don't know, but he is in The Hobbit. He as the Hobbit, and he's also in the Sherlock TV series with Benedict Cumberbatch, who plays Watson. And in this film, he plays a typical British guy working in a primary school. It's a school for younger kids. And he's not very happy. So this film is called Nativity, and it's based on the Christmas tradition that we have in British schools of staging a nativity play every year at Christmas with all the kids in it. Okay, so this is something that happens every year, actually maybe not this year, but generally every year in schools in the UK. Your kid is like sort of either Mary or Joseph or an angel or a shepherd, or sometimes, as you'll see, some more imaginary characters that might have been there. But like it's a play that is put on every year, and all the parents go and all the guests of the school go, and it's a really big thing for these kids. They really look forward to it and they really enjoy being in it. And this is what happens in this film. They put on this big nativity play, but the school is not a very good school. And so this guy, as I said, he's not very happy there. He's feeling a bit depressed. He doesn't think, the play is going to be very good. But in the end, he sort of says to his member of his family, it's going to be a great play. And he gets a little bit carried away, as we can see from this clip here.
There's not a next round.
You've got a classroom assistant starting.
Why is Mr. Madden such a grumpy gross?
Will we keep it down over there, please?
Oh, Maddens, how's that dreadful school? I'm doing the nativity again. Hollywood producers coming.
Hollywood are coming to St Bernadette's
Yes.
to film your show.
Yeah.
Make a film out of you.
And a book.
A big Hollywood company are coming here to see our nativity. And we're all going to be famous! Yeah!
Hollywood are going to be coming to see our nativity play. We can hardly believe it.
Oh, it's a lie. It's not true.
The whole town is buzzing with the news.
I made it up.
I'm sensing a lot of anger.
So as you can see, it's a lot of fun, okay? So Hollywood's going to come to this school. You can imagine the chaos. It's in some ways like the traditional school nativity play. It's a lot of chaos. It's a lot of fun. A lot of cute kids looking very sweet on stage. But yeah, it's definitely worth a watch. Okay, so next one we're going to talk about is Polar Express, number 6. This is another American offering, but this one's a bit more thoughtful. It's actually based on a children's book that was really famous in the 80s with beautiful pictures. And I think you can see that from the animation that they have in this film. It's really, really high quality. Also in this film, it's for fans of Tom Hanks, because Tom Hanks plays practically every role in this film. And it's quite fun, like watching out to see like who he's doing and what voice he's putting on. It's quite entertaining. And it's a story of a boy who on the night before Christmas is preparing for Santa. Now, I don't know what you do in your cultures, but in America and also in the UK, we have a very routine on Christmas Eve, and that is the night before Christmas, Santa's going to come. It's very exciting. So what do? You prepare for him as you would any other guest. So you make sure that the chimney is open and accessible so he can come down the chimney. You put out a little snack for him, so maybe some biscuits, maybe some milk, maybe something a bit stronger, so it depends what the parents suggest. Sometimes even a snack for the reindeers because they might get tired carrying his sleigh. And then of course you've also put like sort of a tree there so he can put the presents under the tree and the stockings by the fireplace. So he's got an obvious place to put the presents, okay? So this boy's done all these things to prepare for Christmas Eve, but does he really believe Santa's coming? He's not really sure, but it's not Santa that comes on that Christmas Eve. It's something else. I won't say what, but that first picture was a big clue. It's a very thoughtful film. I think it's one. I think maybe if you're a bit sort of frazzled from your day, maybe on Christmas you want something a bit more reflective, a bit calm, but still fun to watch. You won't fall asleep, I promise you. But it's a bit calmer. I think it's a really good choice. Yes, and as I said, it's beautifully illustrated, and I think also it's got quite a thoughtful message for kids and for adults. Maybe, you know, it's about the meaning of Christmas and of maybe recognizing what's important again. Okay, the next one, not quite so thoughtful, but a definite Christmas classic, and that is Home Alone. Now, I'm sure many of you have seen this film before. It came out in 1990 when Macaulay Culkin was still very young and very cute. Look at it, isn't he gorgeous? Now, it is definitely a cult classic, always shown on the TV at Christmas. And I think one that all the family can enjoy together. Now lots of people are having children, they haven't seen it before, so they can watch it with their parents and like sort of engage with that sort of nostalgia that their parents have for this film. Look at that huge phone as well. So I think it's quite good for remembering all the things that were going on in the late 80s, early 90s. And also, what kid would not enjoy seeing a small kid get the better of much older people, of adults, especially bad adults, as we can see in this picture, definitely bad adults, but get the better of them he does, and everybody is feeling much better by the end of the film. Okay. Also, it's good to remember that when he meets Santa, he doesn't ask for anything for himself, he just wants his family back. It's very cute. Okay, now we come back to the UK again for Love Actually. Okay, a more recent classic, this time courtesy of British rom-com king Richard Curtis. Now you might know Richard Curtis. He also did Four Weddings and a Funeral, About a Boy. He's done lots of these rom-com films. And surprise, surprise, again, like many Richard Curtis films, it stars, or at least has as one of its stars, Hugh Grant. This time, Hugh Grant plays, as you can see him in the middle there, he's playing the British Prime Minister. And many characters. It's actually got 10 different stories interweaving all the way through this film. And all of these stories illustrate the value of love. And sometimes this is a happy, sometimes this is sad, sometimes it's serious, sometimes it's funny, but all different examples of what happens when you fall in love. And it is, in its own way, quite a beautiful film. I think we've got a clip here when things aren't quite going very well for the main character.
Look at it. Oh, hi.
Who is it?
It's carol singers.
Well, give him a quid and tell him to bugger off.
Oh, isn't that lovely? Sad, but lovely. Okay, and another example of maybe it doesn't always make you happy, but love is a key part of our lives. As Hugh Grant says towards the beginning of the film, love actually is all around. It definitely is in this film. Okay, So the next one we move to our top 3, okay? And this is like very different films, seeing a very different views of Christmas. And the first one is definitely very different from all the others. It is The Nightmare Before Christmas. Okay, now if all this lovey-dovey stuff with Love Actually and all these beautiful things, the families getting together and looking cozy and falling in love is too much for you, you don't like that, this is definitely the film for you. Tim Burton, who does other alternative things like Edward Scissorhands was another one of his, he thinks, what would happen if we took Christmas, which is a time of, as we said before many times, family, love, appreciating what we have together, all positive, very warm things, and we mix it with another festival. Well, it's slightly different, Halloween. This is exactly what he does in this film, okay? And in this film, he imagines there's 2 different lands. There's Christmas land with Santa and the kind of scenes we've seen before in Elf, etc., etc. And Halloween Town. And Jack Skellington, who's like king of Halloween Town, discovers for the first time this Christmas town, and he hasn't seen it before, and he's amazed by it, and he wants to have some of it. So he takes over Christmas and puts a definite Halloween-y kind of spin on it, okay? Which is definitely, as you might have gathered from all these other films that we've been saying, a Halloween sort of horror spin on Christmas is not what people are expecting. And they have the, or maybe expected result of being slightly horrified. But it's good fun. It's definitely something a bit different and a bit alternative. And I think it's something which, again, when you're a bit sick of all the same kind of rather saccharine sort of Christmassy things, getting a bit too much for you, it's definitely something that you can have and ring the changes. Okay, now the next one is actually my favorite film of all time, okay? I couldn't talk about Christmas films without mentioning this one, even though it is a bit old. It was actually made way back, even before I was born, in 1946. However, it is a classic, and it's called It's a Wonderful Life. Now, a warning, early on, you definitely need a big box of tissues for this movie. Not because of any virus or anything like that going around, but because it's going to make you cry. I can guarantee it makes everybody cry. It's a very moving film, and it has a very important message, maybe even especially for this year, that your life can make a difference. Okay? This is one of the pictures taken from when it was produced the first time in 1946. It came out for the first time. Has James Stewart, as you can see in the centre there, playing the lead character. He grows up from idealistic young boy to this man, this family man that we can see here, with children, a beautiful wife, and his uncle. He dreamed as a young boy of traveling the world and having amazing adventures, but he has inherited the family bank and is now a responsible family man in his local town. Everything is going okay, not brilliantly, okay, until Christmas Eve one year, disaster hits, crisis hits. I won't tell you exactly what, but it's very bad. In fact, it's so bad that he actually considers taking his own life. As he's considering it, he's standing on the bridge, staring into the black river beneath him. It's snowing, because it's Christmas Eve, always snows on Christmas Eve. It's snowing. He's looking at the river, deciding if things are so bad, it would be better if he killed himself. When something rather unexpected happens. Let's have a look.
I didn't have time to get some stylish underwear. Wife gave me this on my last birthday. I passed away in it. Oh, Tom Sawyer's drying out, too. You should read the new book Mark Twain's writing now.
How did you happen to fall in?
I didn't fall in. I jumped in to save George.
You what? To save me?
Well, I did, didn't I? You didn't go through with it, did you?
Go through with what?
Suicide.
Oh, it's against the law to commit suicide around here.
Yeah, it's against the law where I come from, too.
Oh, where do you come from?
Heaven? I had to act quickly. That's why I jumped in. I knew if I were drowning, you'd try to save me. You see, you did. And that's how I saved you.
Very funny.
Your lip's bleeding, George.
Yeah. I got a bust in the jaw in answer to a prayer a little bit ago.
Oh, no, George. I'm the answer to your prayer. That's why I was sent down here.
How'd you know my name?
Oh, I know all about you. I've watched you grow up from a little boy.
What are you, a mind reader or something? Well, who are you then?
Clarence Oddbody, AS2.
Oddbody. AS2. What's that AS2?
Angel, second class.
So that's right. Yes, an angel has been sent to save him. Okay, it is a beautiful, beautiful film, and of course, a wonderful, wonderful life. And George, through Clarence the Angel, learns that George's actions and the choices he's made have made not only him the man that he is, but have also shaped his world. And this film is super, super famous. Sesame Street, you know, Sesame Street, the American educational program. Two of the characters from it, Bert and Ernie, are named after characters in this film. So it's a really, really well-known film, and it's regularly ranked the #1 film ever for Christmas, or maybe just even ever. However, what is my #1? My #1 is, drumroll please, it is A Christmas Carol, and specifically The Muppets Christmas Carol. Okay, now A Christmas Carol, let's start with that, is a film, it's originally a book. It's a very famous book written by Charles Dickens, English novelist. Now this book is the Christmas book, okay? It is the origin of many, many British traditions. And this author, Charles Dickens, in many ways created what we think of as the traditional British Christmas. For example, lots of the games that we play at Christmas, lots of the decorations that we have at Christmas, lots of the food that we have at Christmas, we get these ideas from Charles Dickens. Even, as I said before, the snow at Christmas, we get from the idea of Charles Dickens. He sort of put it all in the same book. Maybe most importantly, in this book, it illustrates the spirit of Christmas. What should we be trying to do at Christmas? Being concerned with one's neighbours, and being kind, and this is at the heart of the book. It was a huge hit for Dickens when he wrote it, and it still is today. If you go to London, or maybe not this year again, but normally if you go to London at Christmas, all theatres are full of productions of A Christmas Carol. On the TV, you see many films and TV versions of A Christmas Carol, okay? Why have I chosen the Muppets version of The Christmas Carol? Because there are so many to choose from. Well, you know the Muppets, Kermit the Frog, Miss Piggy. Yes? Well, they're characters that most people know and love. And this one, I think, is probably the most fun. It takes the story, it makes it something that every child can watch. You don't have to be a certain age and understand Old English in order to enjoy this film. It makes it accessible for everybody. Gonzo plays Charles Dickens himself, and surprisingly, it's very close to the original text. And actually, Dickens' way of presenting the story, reading it out, performing it, is something that the author actually did. So not only is it actually fun and accessible for everybody, from granny to your smallest kids, it's also very, very authentic and close to the original spirit and text of the book. It also has Michael Caine, who's a very good actor, and probably, I think, the grumpiest and best Scrooge, Ebenezer Scrooge. Has lots of songs, it has lots of dancing, it's a lot of fun. I promise you, not only will you learn about a key aspect of British culture, you will be highly entertained, and I promise you, you will finish watching it with a massive smile on your face. And what more could you want at Christmas? Enjoying yourself, smiling, singing and dancing with your family. Okay, so that brings me to the end of my top 8 films, most fun films to watch at Christmas. I hope you enjoyed it, and please let us know what films that you like and enjoy watching at Christmas.
Great, thank you very much, Emma, and I'm sure that a lot of our viewers, including us, found some new films to watch this Christmas and this holiday season. We actually have Bassam from Saudi Arabia, who mentioned that he watched Home Alone and loves this film very much. And also some Polar Express is another film that's been mentioned as something that some of our audience know. And there was a question from KZ about recommending Christmas-related films to the viewers. So we hope that this live stream was actually helpful in terms of expanding not only kind of the list of the films, but also some ideas in terms of kind of cultural traditions that you can find in the UK as well. Emma and Corinne, I know that some of our clients at the London School of English actually are already here in the UK. For example, they came from different countries, from France, Italy, Saudi Arabia, Korea, Japan, could be from anywhere in the world. And even though this year is a little bit different with when it comes to celebrating Christmas and New Year, some of them might have a situation where, for example, they are invited to spend Christmas with a family in the UK. So for those people who are invited, what would you recommend to them in terms of some useful tips?
So if they're invited to family homes for dinner or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I would say like sort of it's really people appreciate sharing culture. So like sort of you're probably interested in seeing how British people spend their Christmas. They're probably interested in your culture and what, you know, your own experiences and what you're bringing. So if you're thinking about bringing a gift or something for the family, I would bring something, maybe food or drink if you could find anything from your culture. Maybe that you have for a festival. So maybe if there's a special kind of, I don't know, cake or biscuit or drink or something like that that you have in your culture when you're celebrating something, I think that will always be appreciated by you know, any host, definitely.
Yeah, that's a great tip, and it's good to know that people are very open and curious about different cultures as well. Yeah, and meanwhile, I just want to mention to our audience that do write your questions or comments in the live chat next to the video. For example, have you celebrated Christmas in the UK or in London? And what was your experience? That's one of the questions. And for those of you who don't know, we have quite a strong culture of celebrating different events, the London School of English as well. And Christmas is definitely one of the biggest ones. So there are lots of different things that we do to celebrate Christmas with clients, with our staff. And Emma and Perrine, could you tell us a little bit more about this? I think Perrine, you're mute. Your mic is mute at the moment. Yes. Yeah.
Thanks. That's live. Yes, we really enjoy celebrating different holidays. So Christmas for us is very big at the London School of English. So usually what we would start with would be to decorate the school. So we would have, lovely Christmas lights and garlands and different decorations. So, that's the school restaurant. So you can see it's ready for lunch, and we have the Christmas tree as well. So as you can see, it's in the restaurant area where we have the lunch and our leaver ceremony. And our participants would usually take pictures with their classmates, either during lunch or the ceremony that we have on Friday morning. We would also take pictures ourselves to remember the special time of the year. So this is the Christmas lunch, which we enjoy together. It's not very usual, but we have some wine on the table on that special occasion, and it's really lovely. You can see one of our clients has a Christmas cracker in her hands, and what we would usually do is you would then hold one side of the Christmas cracker, and then your neighbor would hold the other side, and then you would both pull in different directions, and usually the one that has the longest then actually sort of wins. And there's a lovely paper crown that you have inside, and then we would usually all wear the paper crowns on the table. And you need to be with us on that special day to hear some of the Christmas cracker jokes as well, which is very traditional. So in the UK, there's a charity called Save the Children, which runs an annual Christmas jumper day each year to raise money to help children around the world. So this year, Christmas jumper day falls on Friday the 11th, which is tomorrow. So the school is taking part by inviting everyone. So you can see our clients here. You can see Linda, who's been featuring in many of our live streams. And we are inviting basically everyone to wear a very silly Christmas jumper to raise money for this charity. And it's the opportunity to just have fun, again, take pictures, and just enjoy the time that we're spending together. There's also a very, very special event that we host at the London School of English, which is the Christmas pantomime. So again, it's a very special occasion for us to be together. So you can see here, you have our trainers, our staff as well, and it's usually the second last Friday of the year. And trainers and staff are the cast of a one-night-only stage production for the pleasure of our clients, who then see their trainers in a completely different light and costume and makeup. It's a very joyful time of the year for everyone around, and it's an evening event. So we have our families and friends sometimes who come over to watch the show. There are drinks, snacks. So it's really lovely for us to be together and wrap up for the end of the year.
Absolutely,
great, thank
it's
you.
always a great evening, isn't it? We enjoy it so much.
It is.
A lot of participation as well, so it's great fun.
Yeah, Emma, you've actually participated in some of the panto events, right?
I have. Yes, many happy memories. I think that the joy of pantomime is that all the normal rules in life don't apply. So men play women, women play men. You dress up in flamboyant costumes. Yeah, it's a huge celebration of life and of being different, and it's a really good way to let off steam, after a difficult year. So yes, everybody really enjoys the pantomime.
Great. Yeah, that's fantastic to know. And we've got one question from our audience, from KZ, asking us if there's a film or on the short story of American writer Zoe Sherburne from Mother with Love. I guess it's something that we need to look up because it's not something that would immediately be aware of. But even if there isn't one, we hope that this is a good story, and at some point there will be a film on this.
Yeah.
Great. And What we'd also like to mention to our viewers is that for all of you who we've got a comment. We've got a comment from Bassam saying that he love Christmas decorations, and it's something that brings people a joy. Yes, absolutely, and that's something that London is famous for. I think with its Christmas lights, as well as that's what we try to do at the London School of English. We're wrapping up this event and this live stream. But for any of you who are our alumni, we'd like to mention that we will have a very special event exclusively for our alumni next Thursday at the same time at 5:30. And you should have received the invitation with a link where you can register for this event already. And this would be a fun Christmas quiz and an opportunity to practice your English. We will be joined again by Emma, who will also be able to help with any of your questions face-to-face online. So please be sure to subscribe to this event. And if you need to find the link, you can contact us on our email, which will show just shortly after. It's clients@londonschool.com. Or you can find this link for the registration in one of our alumni social groups, either on Facebook or on LinkedIn. So it's been a great live stream, and lots of really useful tips on Christmas traditions and learning English language in a fun and new way. Just for those of our viewers who are considering taking English training either in our center in London or face-to-face in London or online in virtual groups. Farine, can you tell us a little bit more on how they can join our courses and book them?
Yes, of course. So we are still open until the end of the year, and you have a choice between joining us for face-to-face training in London, or you also have our virtual training. Whichever your preferred choice is, go to our website. You can see it here, www.londonschool.com, how convenient. And you can find all the information that you need regarding our courses, sample timetables. You have also information about what the course is about, and videos. You can see sample videos from our website, which feature also lovely Emma here. So everything you need should be on the website. If not, please do not hesitate and email us on clients@londonschool.com. So if you have any questions, comments, feel free to send us an email and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Great. Thank you very much, Farine. And finally, Emma and Farine, is there anything else you'd like to say to our viewers before we wrap up this event?
Only to say that however you decide to spend the Christmas season, I hope that you spend it in a way that brings you happiness and joy and stronger to face next year.
So same thing. Best wishes for the end of the year. Try and, think about positive things, bring positive energy for the end of the year to prepare next year. And hopefully you have very nice food around. That's lots of nice food.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Exactly. That's the time of the year where you can indulge. Nobody's going to say anything.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, and also thank you for joining this live stream, for sharing this time with us, and we hope that this year, even though it was difficult for a lot of people and for everyone, was in some way maybe in, for example, you know, when it comes to your English learning, maybe was a good one for you. And if not, or if you'd like to continue learning English next year, please find out more information on our site at londonschool.com, and we're always ready to help you with that. On that note, we wish you Merry Christmas and a very happy New Year, very peaceful and a kind one. And we hope to see you very soon.
Okay, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Take
Christmas.
care and keep well. Bye.
Bye.